Hey everybody, what is going on? Happy Friday and good morning. I haven't made a video in a moment, but here we are. Today it is May the 9th, 2025, and I have some pertinent stuff that I'd love to go over for new carriers, and here's some good advice. If anybody is new to watching my channel, this way you can know a little bit about me. My name is Paul Clark, and that's my website right there at the bottom, myfreightnetwork.com. If you're a brand new carrier, I got a lot of very helpful, good advice that I would recommend you check out. Let's dive into it. So basically, new carriers and carriers that aren't new. I have some pretty good advice with some scenarios that kind of happened the past week or so. These issues actually have been happening for years, but I figured, I kind of got popped with a couple of these scenarios that kind of happened in the past couple weeks. So I wanted to make a video to go over these with you. So let's kind of dive into it. I'm going to break this down for you, and let's just go over some good advice if you're a brand new carrier getting into the game. So today's topics: what you don't know that you probably should know. Let's go over transloading loads, some tips and tricks about what that is, and paying for loads and dealing with fraud. Those are three things that I'd like to double dip the chip, and let's go over together real quick. I don't want this to be a too long, lengthy video. I have my own website, like I said, myfreightnetwork.com. Check it out. I do freight factoring. Used to be a freight broker. Now I'm a freight factor. I've been doing this for a decade. I know one or two things. So let's dive into this real quick. I don't want to make it too lengthy, but this is important information. So I was working with a guy this week who him and I are going to be doing business together. He's got a 26-foot box truck. He's brand new to the game. I'm looking forward to working with him. He's looking forward to with me. And we had quite a few conversations. He's getting set up with me for freight factoring right now. And this is a quote from him from this week. I don't know what I don't know, so I need to work with you, Paul. I need to work with you, Paul, for freight factoring. I need to work with you, Paul, with load dispatch and finding freight, finding loads. I don't know what I don't know. And I think that's a beautifully well said statement, because I say that to people, but from a different perspective in terms of, I know a lot about trucking. I've been doing this for a decade. And again, I'm an interesting individual because I've sat on the table of being a broker, and now I sit on the table being a factor, and I'm able to train and coach you guys up with these tips and these tricks and these perspectives that I had sitting over there as a broker, because I know how to troubleshoot the problem and the issues and the situations and the scenarios. But now I'm a factor, so I'm able to tell you guys these tips and these tricks to give you that advantage so you make more money. That's the goal at the end of the day. So when I talk to people on the phone, I basically tell them, hey, I recommend that you work with me, who doesn't need quick access to their capital with cash flow for freight factoring. I give you a deposit the same day you deliver the load, as opposed to you waiting 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days to get a check in the mail from a broker. It can take that long, or even a direct shipper. So what I tell people on the phone, and I found this quote to be quite fitting, so I wanted to bring this up in terms of conversation, is I tell people on the phone, listen, I know a lot about trucking, but if I was to go start a Jimmy John's franchise, and I was going to go buy it, I don't know what the purchase price is to purchase one, but let's say it's $300,000. If I was sitting there face to face with the franchise representative for Jimmy John's, I don't know anything about food and hospitality. I don't know. And I don't have an advisor sitting next to me, left or right, that I can ask questions to be like, I don't know what I don't know. What are the questions that I should be asking right now to learn and start the business off on the right foot, as opposed to somebody taking advantage of you? That seems like common logical sense to me, and I would imagine it would be to you. So I don't know the right questions to ask the Jimmy John's sales franchise representative. I'm just sitting there and being like, okay, they're telling me information that is important about buying a Jimmy John's franchise, running a Jimmy John's franchise. I don't have any background in food and hospitality. I don't know. So I don't know what I don't know. I wish I had somebody there with me, helping me ask the right questions. And it was beautifully said with this gentleman, talking to him this week. Paul, I don't know what I don't know. So I want to use your freight factoring services. I want you to train me. I want you to coach me. I want you to advise me. I want you to help me with this business. Same thing with my dispatch. Same thing with my compliance, etc., etc. And I think that's just a really beautiful perspective. There's a lot of factoring companies out there. They don't care about you. And I'm sure some of you will be able to relate to that, where I can't ever get them on the phone. I have tough questions and they never answer me in a timely manner. It's just they overpromise and underdeliver. I'm not here to do that. I'm here for the long haul until the robots take over, which eventually will happen. But I got a clock just like you do right now. I got bills to pay, you got bills to pay, and we're here to rock and roll and make successful trucking companies. So I would say when you're talking to people and you're building your team, and again, I've built a team with my website, myfreightnetwork.com. You can use all of my people. Even if you don't work with me, with factoring, you can work with them. It's fine. And again, I have this perspective of, I like working with varsity team players. I don't need JV people. I need people with experience that know what they're doing. Those are people I line up with, and those are people that I introduce the carriers that I work with to, because we're all heavy hitters and we know our industry, we know our game, we know how this works, we know how to provide value and guidance, advice, coaching, mentoring, troubleshooting issues and problems as they will arise. Anyway, I'm already at 7 minutes. I don't want to beat that dead dog, but I think you get what I'm saying. I don't know what I don't know, so I'd like to work with you. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said with that. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. There's people that are going to give you more information, or there's people going to be like, well, they didn't ask, so we didn't tell them. You're going to run into a lot of those people. Well, they didn't ask us, so we didn't disclose that. It's like, well, that's garbage. I'd rather give you as much information as possible so you can make the best, most informed decision if by chance you don't have access to me after 5 o'clock. I had a guy calling me last night at, I think it was 8 o'clock on a Thursday, and I'm taking his phone call. I got people on the weekend calling me. I'm taking their phone call. I was sitting in my computer last night, 11 o'clock at night, getting a guy set up for freight factoring. It's a team sport, and you guys really got to get that through your head. It's sure, you can get out there and put your blinders on and go. Seen plenty of people do that. Doesn't really work out. You got to build a varsity team of people that just because they're not sitting next to you in the truck, you still need to be able to call them answer the phone as if they were sitting next to you, to be able to talk to them and get guidance, coaching, advice, mentorship, perspective, and help troubleshoot issues and problems that will arise. Okay, the expression is don't beat a dead dog. I kind of beat that, but you follow what I'm saying. Let's move on to the next one. Transloading. I don't recommend you do it. It's a rat's nest. So there's so many things that I want to be able to explain to you with this. And I don't want to talk to you for 30 minutes about this, but I could. So how can I simplify this as simply as possible? Let's say, for example, transload. What is it specifically in terms of defining it? So there's a truck. Let's say there's a truck picking up a truckload of peanut butter. I always use peanut butter as an analogy. Who doesn't like peanut butter? Or whatever. Let's say there's a truck picking up freight in Atlanta, and it needs to go to Houston, Texas. Atlanta to Houston. I don't know how much it's paying. Let's just say $3,000 for the sake of this conversation, okay? Atlanta to Houston, $3,000. The truck picks it up in Atlanta and it drives it, and it broke down in Birmingham, Alabama. Damn it. Okay, great. Well, now we need to find the broker. It's like, we need to find a recovery truck to pick it up in Birmingham, Alabama, transload it, take it off one truck, move it onto the other truck, and then that truck now has the freight, and then it needs to be transported to the delivery location in Houston. With that becomes a rat's nest of issues, and sometimes the broker, they'll post it up online, and it'll be a really great rate per mile. It will be, but the issues are not so much the rate per mile and getting a good rate. It's the factoring on the back end and the documentation in process. So let's just say it's a truckload of peanut butter and it's in a reefer and it needs to go to Houston, but it breaks down in Birmingham, Alabama. Well, it's a reefer, or maybe it's a flatbed, or maybe it's a box truck or a hot shot. What happens from one truck to the other? Being transloaded on the side of the highway, maybe they're able to make it over to a warehouse and the truck was able to be towed. We don't know. Maybe it was after hours and nobody was able to get a hold of the broker, and this truck, the original one, just tried to source out another truck to go get it, but that's a conflict because the broker didn't approve it, but the truck was trying to be resourceful and troubleshoot a problem without notifying the broker, and then that carrier gets a freight guard on them or gets on the do not use list, and then the documentation, what if you have a language barrier, or what if the schmuck whose truck broke down and you're not the schmuck and you're the one trying to go in and transload it, pick it up in Birmingham and take it to Houston, Texas, and what if the guy loses the bill of lading and you don't even have it? Well, you have a new Raycon. You don't have the original pickup location, which is Atlanta. You have the delivery location that is Houston, Texas, but your pickup location is going to be Birmingham, Alabama. To that location, you're not going to get $3,000. You're going to get some other number, but your Raycon is linked to somebody else's Raycon with somebody else's MC number. They have a different factoring company. You have a different factoring company. What if the product is damaged? Something is broken? Well, did it happen with the guy that picked it up in Atlanta? Or did it happen up with a guy that picked it up in Birmingham, Alabama? And then it gets to the delivery location, and then maybe there is something that's broken. Well, who did it? Was it the first person, or was it the second person? First carrier or the second carrier? Where's the documentation? We don't know about the BOL. We don't know about the POD. What was the original Raycon? Who was the original carrier? Who was the original driver? What's the different MC numbers that were both on this? It's a rat's nest. It really, really is. You can be like, oh, damn, this is great. I'm going to do a transload picking up this busted truck because the truck broke. I'm going to pick it up in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm going to take it to Houston. I'm going to pay great money. Maybe you are, but the factoring company is going to lock it up. We don't know what's going on. This was transloaded. Apparently there's damage on it. Maybe there's not damage on it. But now we have to also confirm with the original carrier that picked it up, because it was their name on the Raycon with that low number. The factoring company has that low number. They're trying to confirm it with the broker. The broker says there's two carriers on it. The factoring company might not know that it's transloaded, that there's two carriers on it, and that the rate from $3,000 is split between two carriers. I can keep going. At the end of the day, I would recommend you just avoid it, because sure, it could be squeaky clean 1 out of 10 times, but 9 out of 10 times it's going to be what I just described. It's just a rat's nest. You got to communicate with all these different people. You don't know what's going on. Truck's broken. Product is probably damaged. Something could get missing. Something could get damaged in the transloading process. A claim could be filed on your insurance when you were just trying to help and you were trying to transload, do the broker a favor. You saw a great rate per mile on a recovery because somebody else's truck broke up. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Sure, there's a lot of us out there. We have great hearts and we want to do a favor. We want to go the extra mile. We want to help. I have another video about this too in terms of transloading. At the end of the day, it creates more problems than not. Leave it to some other schmuck to go pick up the transload and deal with that rat's nest of an issue, and you're not going to get paid immediately. You're not. You maybe in a week, hopefully sooner than that, but I just want to deal with it. There's too many variables outside of your control, because I even had a guy a while ago. He was moving canola oil in drums in a box truck, and one of these canola oil drums got damaged. But he couldn't prove that it was the other guy that damaged it when he picked it up at the shipper. But that other guy's truck broke down, and he went into intercept, and he grabbed it, transloaded it, put it on his box truck, and took it to the delivery. But the guy never gave him the bill of lading, and then the POD got lost, and then it got locked up for like 3 months, and nobody got paid. Fortunately, it was a very cheap load. It was like a $300 load. It was nothing. However, it is registered as a claim with TQL. TQL has you on do not use until the claim is resolved. So for 3 months, he's not allowed to do any loads with TQL. One of the biggest brokers in the United States. 3 months, that could be $30,000 a month. Because he tried to be a great, nice guy, which he is, and he went in there to help out in the situation and transload and take it to delivery. And he was a nice guy and he did a great job. But because the guy before, whose truck broke down, where he was going in to save and help the situation, that guy screwed up everything. And then as a person that stands next to, your collateral damage, he went above and beyond, but at the end of the day, that's what happened. And the product was damaged. Nobody can identify who it was damaged with. Was it damaged with transloading? Was it damaged with the second person? Was it damaged with the first person? No pictures were taken. No documentations taken. I would recommend, if you have an opportunity and somebody says, hey, I need this transloaded, just say pass. It's not worth it. It really isn't. There's going to be people that are going to disagree with me. But again, I've been a broker and I'm a freight factor and I know this pretty well. So that is my 2 cents. I would highly recommend. Just stay away from transloading loads. Just stay away from it. Just stay away from it. All right, the video is getting pretty long. Paying for loads and fraud. Paying for loads and fraud. If you're a new carrier, paying for loads. I got a gentleman, just started working with him. He's located down in Florida, I think around Tampa. A guy who's been in the game for a minute, but he's been on the equipment side, and now he's driving. And he made a rookie mistake, which is unfortunate. And it could have been worse, so I'm going to explain that scenario to you really quickly. He got a call from somebody. They said that they were a broker. They gave him their broker MC number, which looked legit, and he looked it up with the credit check tool that I have online to verify and vet brokers. The broker created fraudulent invoices, fraudulent rate cons, using some other broker's MC number, stealing it and making a fake rate con. And on the bottom of it, there was no phone number and no email, but it looked like a legit rate con. I saw it. But who doesn't put their phone number anywhere on a rate confirmation? That's a red flag. And the other red flag that unfortunately he missed was these guys were like, they called him up. He's a brand new carrier. Nobody does this. And again, I have done stupid things. I'm sure you've done stupid things too. We don't need to get into those. Not today. But another conversation, right? But the idea is, if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. It's not real. So a speed bump, not an issue, a speed bump, which changes in time with any carrier being in the business, is the carrier gets an older and older and older MC number, DOT number. It gets age on the MC. Your MC number is 6 weeks old, 6 months old, 12 months old, and the older it gets, more brokers become available for you to work with, and you get more opportunities to move loads. So this guy being solicited to, being a brand new 1 week old MC number, getting a phone call, hey, we got loads for you. We'll pay you $900 to go from here to here 5 days a week. That's basically $5,000 a week. You're a brand new carrier. You're in the right location. We're going to give these to you. Here's all the rate cons for the entire week, Monday through Friday, and we just need you to pay us $200 and we'll give you these loads. Nah, 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 no, 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 no. You don't pay anybody to give you loads. He was new, he didn't know that, and he only paid them $200. Immediately, I told him, it was within 24 hours. I said, call Bank of America, tell them, hey, this is a fraudulent transaction. Try to get into that Zelle account, cancel it out. I don't know. But you never pay anybody to give you loads. There's dispatchers. You pay a dispatcher to give you loads. You never pay a broker to give you loads. Brokers pay you for you to transport their loads. There's no deposit. It's another thing too. A lot of these factoring companies, again, I am a factor. A lot of these factoring companies are requiring deposits before you can even factor your loads with them, process your invoices with them, your raycons. I don't do that. That's stupid. Again, paying for loads and fraud. So be advised, you are going to get solicited to. Somebody will offer you something like that, and just hang up the phone on them. Nobody can guarantee anything in this business, so hang up the phone. Again, if it sounds too good to be true, it's not real. But again, that kind of goes back to that original question. I don't know what I don't know, and I'm now telling you now. You never pay a broker that's going to give you loads money. It's fraud. And that's what he did. He took the guy's $200, gave him a bunch of fake rate confirmations for 5 of them for 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and they're all fake. He drove over to the shipper location on the Raycon, and they said, we have no idea who you are. We don't ship out of this location. So he just drove over to a building that some fraudster put on a piece of paper, and they don't even ship. The whole thing was fake. That was only $200. If he doesn't get the $200 back, that's okay. I've spent $2,000 on stupid stuff, and again, getting into me, I've done stupider stuff, and I know you probably have too. Hopefully not as dumb as me, but the best experience is the best teacher is experience, right? And not everybody learns from their experiences, and some people continue to make the same mistake over and over again. But I think that's a valid point to be brought up, so you understand. Don't ever Zelle anybody money like that, because they're going to give you loads. That's BS. That's not real. Fraud. Let's talk about 2 other things that are going on right now. Truckstop.com, fuel card companies, Fleet Smarts. There's an order of operations with getting set up with a factoring company, which is pretty damn important. If we're processing your cash flow, you want to make sure that's set up and you got a good relationship with your factoring company. But these other companies, what they're doing is they're creating a bait and switch fraud situation, meaning fuel card companies, Fleet Smarts, and truckstop.com. You're signing up for truckstop.com to get their load board. You're signing up with a fuel card with whoever. Loves is even doing this. And fleetsmart.com, it's another Fleet Smart company, garbage fuel card company. And what they're doing is they're giving you the load board. They're giving you the fuel card. And that's their main product, their main service, the load board, the fuel card. But what they're not telling you is they're also signing you up for freight factoring, and they're not even disclosing it. So if you cancel the load board, well, you've already signed up for their factoring with the why am I just drew a blank. I just said the name of the load board. Truck Stop. Oh my gosh, I need another cup of coffee. Truck Stop. You're signing up for it, and it wasn't even disclosed to you because you clicked on this little non-disclosure button, and you got signed up for it. It was a bait and switch, and they just roped you into it, and they didn't even tell you. I deal with that probably once a week, 52 weeks out of the year. People, Paul, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to sign up with the load board and then sign up with factoring. Factoring is like one of the first things that you need to do, and I'm not selling that to push me. I'm saying there's an order of operations to setting up your trucking company. You need to file your LLC with the Secretary of State. You need to get with your compliance company that's doing your carrier compliance with the FMCSA, and then you need to get immediately with your factoring company and sign up with a factoring company. You then need to get your insurance figured out. and then you move forward. You get your financing for your truck, and you purchase your truck, and you get your insurance, and you get moving forward. I got a great compliance girl. Check her out on my website. She is a rock star, Cassandra. She's great. She knows the stuff that I don't know, and that's why she's a varsity player on my team. And I'm not going to make it up. So I don't know, but Cassandra does. Here's her phone number. Call her. It's really unfortunate because there's a lot of people in this business that are going to sound really nice on the phone. And just because they're nice on the phone doesn't mean they're nice in real life. And, you know, it's great that a whole bunch of people have written some rock star Google reviews for me. There's a lot of companies out there where they've taken down their Google reviews because they're so bad. They've had Google take them down, and people don't even know that they're garbage companies. So this is almost a 25-minute video. I don't want to make this too much longer than it needs to be, but I thought these would be pertinent things for new carriers to share some good advice that you need to be made aware of. The fraud, the garbage, the order of operations for getting set up, what questions that you should probably ask, and aligning yourself with good people. That's my website. Check it out. Like I said, I work with varsity players, titans, people that answer the phone after 5 o'clock, and they don't go an extra 1 mile, they go an extra 100 miles to be able to help you. This really is a team sport, and yeah, long story short, I wanted to go over this information with you today because it's important. It's some good advice, and it's going to save you some headaches, and it's going to save you some money. Those are they're both important. They're both important. Anyway, I'm going to leave it right there. If you need the freight factoring stuff, reach out to me. I'll be happy to set you up. If you've got questions, reach out to me. I even have people that don't even work with me for factoring, and they say their factoring company's so garbage and they can't get help, and they call me for advice, and I just help them. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to assist. Happy Friday, everybody. Catch you on the next video.